Bismillah. We'll continue with our lessons in Sarf and Nahu. Before we get into Sarf Lil Mubtadieen, we're going to take a few grammatical points on Nahu. As I mentioned last week, we're going to go into Jumlatul Fi'liyah. If you read the first slide, I said there are two types of sentences in the Arabic language. There is a Jumlatul Ismiyah and there's a Jumlatul Fi'liyah. So the Jumlatul Ismiyah is a nominal sentence where the first word starts with a noun. That is a Jumlatul Ismiyah, a nominal sentence. Then you have a Jumlatul Fi'liyah, which I want to cover today, a verbal sentence. A verbal sentence that begins with a verb. So for example, Jumlatul Ismiyah, we have al-Masjidu maftuhun. The masjid is open. The masjid, is it a noun or verb? It's a noun. It's a noun. That's a Jumlatul Ismiyah. Then we have a Jumlatul Fi'liyah. Shariba. Shariba means to drink. Shariba al-talibu al-qahwata. The student drank coffee. That is an example of Jumlatul Fi'liyah, a sentence that begins with a verb. Is that clear? So the two sentences are Jumlatul Ismiyah, nominal sentence, or Jumlatul Fi'liyah. And the reason why we're covering it now is because we are studying Sarf. The examples will be easier to understand if we comprehend the Jumlatul Fi'liyah. So what is the Jumlatul Fi'liyah made up of? On the next slide, the Jumlatul Fi'liyah, the verbal sentence, is made up of a fi'l, obviously a verb, a fa'il, which I put active participant, but it's not an active participant, or is active participant, but it is the doer of the action, the one that's doing the action. He's a fa'il. And the last one, al-maf'ulu bihi. It is an object. So that's the three you'll find. A fi'l, the verb, al-fa'il, the one doing the action, al-maf'ulu bihi, the one that the action lands upon. The one that the action lands upon. So first the fa'il, the one that's doing the action, al-fa'il. That one will always be in a state of raf'. Who remembers what raf' is? Raf'. So the raf' is when it's taking a dhamma or dhammatain. As an example, you have bu or bun. Yes, you can say marfu', but the state is a raf', but the word is marfu'. So we have at-talibu. Is at-talibu raf', nasb, jar? Raf'. Why?
Because there is
the dhamma at the end. So the fa'il, the one that's doing the action, will either take a dhamma or a dhammatain. But how do we know if it's going to take a dhamma or dhammatain? How do we know that? How do we know if it'll take one dhamma or it'll take two? If it's alif and lam, as an example, we have at-talibu. At-talibu, it takes an alif and lam. Or it would have been talibun. That's for the fa'il. Then the maf'ulun bihi, the one that the action lands upon, they translate as the object, will always be in a state of nasb. Now what's the state of, in the state of nasb? It is taking a fatha or fathatain. So we have the fa'il, the fi'l, and then the maf'ul bihi, the object. Nasb, when it's taking a fatha or a fathatain. We have al-kitaba or kitaban. Those are the two.
There's no exceptions for this rule, right?
There are exceptions. Yeah, there's exceptions. But the exceptions come after we've perfected the general rule. So if you take some examples now for the Jumlatul Fi'liyah. So the verbs are in red, the one doing the action is in blue, and the Maf'ulun bihi is in black. So we have daraba, meaning to hit. Who's hitting? Is it al-mudarrisu hitting or al-taliba? Who's doing the hitting? Al-mudarrisu is doing the hitting. How do you know? Not because it's in blue. How do you know al-mudarrisu is doing the hitting?
Because there is the...
Yes?
They got the same, are they together?
No, not because they're together. I just mentioned it. The dhamma.
There's a dhamma.
Because marfu'. The word is marfu'. We mentioned the fa'il will either take a dhamma or dhammatain. That's how we know he's the one doing the action. Al-mudarrisu. And we know at-taliba is the maf'ulun bihi here. Why? Because it's a nasb. نعم. منصوب. غسلت آمنة الثوب. Who's doing the washing here? Is it Amina or the thawb that's doing the washing? Amina is washing the thawb. غسلت آمنة الثوب. And you can also, the rule is the same for if it's a present tense verb. يكتب أحمد الدرس. يكتب, Ahmed is writing الدرس, the lesson. Can it be الدرسي or الدرسو?
No.
No. The مفعول به is in a state of nasb. We said the fourth example, تأكل عائشة الخبز. Aisha is eating the bread. Or Aisha is eating bread, al-khubza. We know she's eating bread because in a state of nasb. And an example, خلق الإنسان من علق. خلق الإنسان من علق. This is a Jumlatul Fi'liyah.
Yes.
خلق is going back, who's doing the creating here? Is going back to the ayah before it. Your Lord. خلق الإنسان. He created الإنسان من علق. حرف جر.
It's a good way not to miss again this ayah.
Yeah.
Now you know.
Now you know.
Yeah.
خلق الإنسان من علق. Then in Surah Baqarah we have وقتل داود جالوت. وقتل, what does قتل mean?
Kill.
Yes. داود جالوت. Who's doing what?
Dawood is
Dawood.
the doer of the action.
Dawood is the one doing the action.
And
Jaluta.
is the object where the action landed.
Yes, Jaluta is the one that the action landed upon. Is that clear? That's a Jumlatul Fi'liyah. So on the next page, page 4, you see page 4, there are 10 sentences. In these sentences, you do it for homework. You put one line on the fa'il and 2 lines on the maf'ulun bihi. So for example, kasara al-tiflu al-qalama. You put one line on al-tifl because that is the fa'il, child. Al-qalama, the pen, will take a fatha. 2 lines on that. Is that clear? For page 4. If something's not clear, it's better to ask than stay silent. On page 4 of the PDF, there's 10 sentences. You put one line underneath the fa'il and 2 lines underneath the maf'ulun bihi.
Okay.
So here, al-tifl, I'll put one line because he's the fa'il, the child. Al-qalam, 2 lines because it is the maf'ulun bihi. That is the homework. Inshallah. Now we're going to the book. أوزان الفعل الأمر وتصريفها. The command verb and the tasrif. Page 30, what page is it? 33. We're on page 33 of the book. We've done Jumlatul Fi'liya, now we'll go into the book. So what we'll do is we'll go through the book and then translate, and then we'll go through the steps one by one. So al-qa'idatul 'amma, the general principle, fi jami' al-awzan, in all the scales, fi'l al-amr, for the command verbs. Al-thulathi, ruba'i, wa khumasi, wa sudasi. So all of them, the 3, 4, 5 and 6 letters, we're going to take general principles for all of them. The first one, أولا يؤخذ فعل الأمر من المضارع, that the فعل الأمر, the command verb, is taken from the present tense verb. للمخاطب فقط, for the second person only. So the فعل الأمر will be taken from the second person present tense only. That's the first one. Second part, وَيُحْذَفُ حَرْفُ الْمُضَارِعَةِ مِنْهُ, and the حرف المضارع is now dropped. Do you remember the حرف المضارع? What do you call it? Anate. That is dropped. Now so it's easier for us. What is the second person? We have to use now, I want to use the pronouns. Instead of saying you, feminine, you, masculine, you two, you three. What are the pronouns? Al-mukhatab. Okay, ثانيا, the second point. Second point, تزاد همزة الوصل في أوله. في أوله, you increase with a همزة الوصل at the beginning. إذا كان الحرف أول ساكنة. You increase that verb now with a همزة الوصل if the first letter is in a state or it has a sukun. If there's no sukun, then there's no hamzatul wasl increased with it. He mentions in the third point, this hamzatul wasl, تكسر همزة الوصل إذا كان الحرف الثالث مفتوحا أو مكسورا. So this hamzatul wasl that we are bringing will be, or we will take a fatha. This hamzatul wasl will take a kasra if the third letter is taking a fatha or a kasra. Okay, the third letter, what's the third letter?
It's the lam.
The ayn. Yeah. With hamzatul wasl and with the harf al-mudari'. So it will take a kasra if the third letter of that verb is taking a fatha or kasra. It seems confusing now, but it will become easy soon, inshallah. And then he says, وَتُضَمُّ هَمْزَةُ الْوَصْلِ إِذَا كَانَ الْحَرْفُ الثَّالِثُ مَضْمُومًا. So if the third letter is not taking a dhamma, the hamzatul wasl will take a dhamma. رابعا, the last point, يسكن حرف الأخير, the last letter will become, or it will take a sukun, or يحذف نون الرفع إذا كان فيه. The noon, so what we do is the last letter of that verb will take a sukun, or the noon of al-raf' is dropped. We'll go to page 8, if you skip to page 8, and then we'll come back again. So here, we're going to make a command verb in 4 steps. Basically what we just mentioned in Sarf. So we start with the appropriate second person. Here we have anta, which is تذهب. تذهبوا. فعل مضارع تذهبوا. What's the first step that we mentioned? We drop the حرف المضارعة. That حرف المضارعة is the ta. is now dropped. So now you have a dhal with a sukoon on it. Third point was make the verb majzoom. So the third point is make the verb majzoom. So we mentioned it was either the verb takes a sukoon or the noon of raf is dropped. Here there's no noon, so we make the last letter take a sukoon. So now what do we have? We have a dhal with a sukoon, ha, and a ba with a sukoon. How do you read that word? You can't read it. Naam. So the word you can't pronounce it. So what do we do? To overcome this, we add a hamzatul wasl. Hamzatul wasl is brought. However, the harakah of that hamzatul wasl depends on the third letter. What is the third letter taking in this case? What is it taking? Fatha. What do we say? If it takes a fatha, the hamzatul wasl will take a kasra. So we bring the hamzatul wasl with a kasra, we have idhab. Idhab is the result. Idhab means go. Idhab, you're telling one person to go. Idhab. And if you look at the box at the bottom, they made it pretty easy. You have the ayn kalima, underneath it, whatever the ayn kalima takes, fatha, kasra or dhamma. Then on the left it has a hamzatul wasl. So we have fatha. If it's taking a fatha, it will take a kasra. If it's taking a kasra, it will take a kasra. If it's taking a dhamma, it will take a dhamma. As I mentioned, just tell yourself if it's taking a dhamma, it will take a dhamma, otherwise it will take a kasra. The ayn kalima. If the ayn kalima takes a dhamma, it will take a dhamma. Otherwise, put a kasra. Because there's no fatha here. They either take a kasra or a dhamma. Is that واضح? So let's go back now to page 6 of the PDF. As for the book, it is the bottom of page 34. So the book,
34.
what I have on the screen in my PDF.
Yeah, 34.
The bottom of 34. So now we have the 3 command verbs. Or first we have the 3 present tense verbs. We have taf'ulu, we have taf'alu, and we have taf'ilu. Those are the 3, صح? Taf'alu, taf'ilu, taf'ulu. We'll start with number 1. And we're only going to do anta for now. Just in these examples, he just gives us anta. We'll start with taf'ulu. Taf'ulu. If a verb is on a scale taf'ulu, where the ayn is taking a dhamma, what will the amr take? What's the amr? If the mudari', the present tense, is taking a dhamma, taf'ulu, the ayn is taking a dhamma, yes. Now the hamzatul wasl will take a dhamma. So we have uf'ul. So we have taskutu. Naam. Dhamma, everyone's correct. So taskutu, where's the ayn kalima in taskutu?
And the kaf.
The kaf. The kaf is taking a?
Dhamma.
Okay. So we have the command uskut. Then you have tasjuru. The command is going to be all the same. Usjur. Tansuru, unsur. Taskutu means to be quiet. To be quiet.
So to order someone to be quiet,
Yes.
you would say
It's in not a nice way of saying it.
no, no.
So taf'alu, the second one now. Taf'alu, we drop the harf al-mudari', that ta is dropped, so you have a fa with a sukoon. We bring the hamzatul wasl based on the ayn kalima, takes a fatha. So what does the hamzatul wasl get? The hamzatul wasl will take a kasra. So we have if'al is the result. So we have tal'anu. Tal'anu, the result is il'an. So the ta is dropped, hamzatul wasl is brought based on the ayn. Then tashrahu. Sharaha yashrahu. Tashrahu. Ishrah, to explain. Yes, Ishrah. So tasma'u is going to be isma'.
To listen.
Yes. And the last one, where the ayn kalim is taking a kasra. Yes, the first one to curse.
To curse.
Yeah. And the last one, where the ayn kalima is taking a kasra, will be the same as the one above, where the hamzatul wasl now will take a kasra. We have if'il. We've done if'al, now we're doing if'il. So who can do the first one without looking? If I say ta'qilu. Ta'qilu. Say it again. Ta'qilu.
Ta'ilu.
تعقل اعقل نعم. If I say تغفر, the verb is not تغفر, you forgive, pardon. So what's the command? You want someone to forgive. تغفر, اغفر, and تغسل, اغسل. However, this is all for anta. We need to now do the other 5 remaining. So the next page we have the tasrif, the conjugation, fi'l al-amr, al-thulathi.
The last point.
So now this tasrif, we have 3, obviously. We have uf'ul, if'al, and if'il. We'll go through them one by one. Uf'ul. It started with a dhamma for some reason. Uf'ul. So if we have the verb tadhkuru, what would the first one be?
Uzkur.
Udhkur. Then, for 2 people. Udhkura. Udhkuru. Now you're speaking to auntie. You're telling her. Udhkuri. Then 2 of them. Antuma. Udhkura. Udhkurna. Okay, so now let's look at the mudari' for uf'ul. What was it before? What was it before? It was taf'ulu. Taf'ulu. What was dropped? The ta was dropped. And then the end, what was made? Sukun. The jazm. Then the second one, what was it before? It was taf'u. Taf'u. No. It was taf'ulani.
The second one on
the second one. So the harf al-mudari was dropped. Then what else was dropped? The noon of raf. It was dropped. That's what he means by the noon of raf is dropped. Because now it's not in a state of raf anymore. It's mazum. Then the last one, what was the last one? Taf'uluna. The harf al-mudari was dropped. And the noon of raf' was dropped. Not every verb takes a noon. Some take a dhamma, and others will take a noon of raf'. And what about the last one? The second anti. Uf'uli. What was it before? It was taf. It's right there. Nothing's changed. Only 2 things have changed. Taf'u, lina. The noon of raf' is dropped here as well. And then the second one is the same as the one above. And the last one, that noon is not dropped. Why? Who remembers why? Naam, noon niswa. What is that? Why is the last one not dropped? Uf'ulna. It's fixed. Naam. That noon is fixed. It's not dropped like the others. The others are a noon of raf. This is a pronoun. Okay? So that's for uf'ul. Let's do the second one. If'al. Obviously you put the verbs on there you have 1, 2, 3. تسجد. So now let's do تلبس, to dress. How do I tell أنت to dress? البس. Then البسا أنتما, you to dress. البسوا, all of you dress. Then how do you tell أنتِ to dress? البسي, you to dress again. أنتما البسا, and then البسنا, you're telling a group to dress. So we've done أفعل and إفعل. Also an important point is the Hamzatul Wasl. How does it differ to the other Hamza? Do you guys remember?
There's a smooth sound on top of it.
Yeah, but
Or means
the ruling for it.
So if it's in the middle of the word, it's only read if it's only pronounced if it's in the beginning.
Naam, it's only pronounced if it's at the beginning, and if it's preceded by a letter, we don't pronounce it. This is important to know for the examples now. They will read the page 9 of the PDF. There are a few examples. If you can now read the first one, because there's Hamzatul Wasl. What's the harakah on this Hamza? Everyone can answer. Okay, he said that. What are you saying?
I have to see.
How do you know it's a Dhamma?
Because the ayn has the dhamma. Like the third letter in this case.
Naam, the kaf was taken a Dhamma. So urkud. And then what I mentioned earlier of the Hamzatul Wasl being pronounced if it's at the beginning is an example in the second example. How do you read the second one? اضرب, but together. وقل نضرب للملائكة. How do you read this one? No, the third one. Yes. But if that word was coming at the beginning, how do we pronounce that? Usjudu. Usjudu. Directly to, is it antum, anti, antuma? No, antuma. Antum. Naam. We said to the angels, usjudu. Another one. That fa is like a conjunction. So do, or then, or sometimes with the wow, and. So drop the fa. How do you pronounce this one? Af'alu, he said. What do you say? If'alu. And you say? If'alu. Remember, there's no fatha. If'alu ma tu'marun. Do as you are ordered. Now, here we have idhaba. Idhaba. Now in translation it will say go to. But how many? Or is this verb directly to? Two? Is it plural? Two. Two. For antuma. Idhaba. Musa wa Harun. Idhaba. What does idhaba mean? Go. Ila fir'auna. And usually idhab will come with the harf ila. So here's one that we can all do together. Ya Maryam. Do it without Maryam. If Maryam is dropped, how would you pronounce this? He said uqnuti. Uqnuti. We're all saying uqnuti. You're following the Jama'ah? Okay, you got Jama'ah, okay. For some reason no one on Zoom is answering. Are we all agreeing? So the qaf, the noon and the ta means to be submissive and is the fi'l al-amr. So qanata, what's the mudari'? You can check the mudari' without even looking on the dictionary. You go backwards. Yaqnutu. So it means to be submissive. Or Maryam, be submissive to your Lord. Then the next one, what's the root letters? Sin, Jeen, Jim, and Dal. Then that means We should all know that by even looking at the dictionary.
سجد is
Prostrate. Now the fi'l al-amr. Usjudi. Prostrate. Then the last one. What's the last amr? Ra, kaf, ayn. What does that mean?
to bow.
To bow. Do you know the scales? Raka'a? Yeah, that's the past. What's the mudari'? No, you can look at it now and just work backwards. Yarka'u. Raka'a, yarka'u, to prostrate. So, be submissive to your Lord, prostrate and bow مع الراكعين, with those that bow. Al-Raki'in is the ism fa'il, which we'll cover after this chapter. Is that clear? The last one. As you know, it's all directly to anti, صح? اقنتي اسجدي اركعي. Page 10 of the PDF. We're just going to take a bit of Medina book. There's a lot of examples here. Page 10. So we have Anta taktubu. Taktubu is the verb. Harf al-Mudari' is dropped. It's got the sukoon at the end. Depending on what the ta is taking, the result is Uktub. Uktub. Then we have dakhala, yadkhulu, anta tadkhulu, tadkhulu, same steps, harf mudari' dropped, jazm at the end. And then we look at the khaf, taking a dhamma, tadkhulu becomes udkhul, enter. So let's go through the examples. We have ukhruj min al-fasl or min al-fasli. Yeah, Bashir. What does ukhruj mean? Leave from the classroom. Leave from the classroom or leave the classroom. Number 2, kataba yaktubu uktub darsak ya Ali. Why is it darsa? That's the maf'ul bihi. Darsa. Plus the kaf is a mudaf ilayhi. Darsak. Usjud lillah. Usjud. Prostrate to Allah. Undur. What does that mean? Look. Nadara. Nadara. The present. Nadara. Look at, you can look at it and guess. Yanduru. Nadara yanduru ila dhaka al-jabal. Look at that mountain. Uqtul. Qatala yaqtulu hadi al-hayyata. Kill this snake. And we have udkhul again. Anta. This is all for anta. But because in the Medina book, this is Medina book, it does separately. We've done all of them together. Sarf. We've done all 6. But in Medina books, they bring them, I think 2 or 3 at a time. Medina book 2, yes. It says, Ushkur Rabbak. Thank you, Lord. Ushkur Rabbak. Then after that we have uskut. What was uskut? Uskut ya walad.
Remain silent or stay quiet.
Yeah, be quiet, oh boy. Then kanasa yaknusu, to sweep. Uknus هذه الغرفة. Here's a good one. جملة الفعلية. Uknus, sweep هذه الغرفة. Ikram, why is that taking a fatha? الغرفة. Why is it not غرفتي? The last one.
The receiver of the action.
Because the object is in front of me. That's why it's taking a fatha. Uknus هذه الغرفة. Let's go through it quicker. So this one was dhamma. You see what it says at the top in the brackets. Dhamma in the arrows. You'll see it. Now we're going to do kasra. I'm not going to go through the examples at the top. Let's go to number 1. Ijlis huna ya Bilal. Ijlis. Sit here, O Bilal. Jalasa. Muslim, I need the mudari'. Jalasa. Yajlisu ijlis. That's how you remember. Jalasa yajlisu ijlis. Then we have number 2, اغسل. What does اغسل mean? Wash. غسل يغسل وجهك بالصابون. Wash your face with soap. Number 3, ارجع بعد ساعة. You can translate that. ارجع بعد ساعة. Return after an hour. Return after ساعة. After an hour. If you're going to challenge yourself, how could you say to a group, return after an hour? ارجعوا بعد ساعة. Then number 4, انزل من السيارة يا أخي. What does that mean?
Come down from the car, my brother.
Yes. Is it من السيارة to or من السيارة
من السيارة.
He said من السيارة. Okay, what are you saying?
من السيارة.
سيارتي. Remember حرف الجر. And then the last one, قال تعالى لموسى عليه السلام اضرب بعصاك الحجر. I think we've taken that. اضرب.
So the half the jar will take precedence
Yes,
over the
yes.
the fatha of,
Yeah.
of the, okay.
That's one exception.
One exception,
So اضرب بعصاك الحجر. اضرب meaning hit or strike. Hit or strike. And let's go to the last one, Jim. This one's where the ayn is taking a fatha, therefore the hamza wasl will take a kasra. So fataha, yaftahu, yaftahu, iftah. صح. Iftah. Kitabak ya Ibrahim. Open your book, ya Ibrahim. So remember kitaba, the ba in kitab is taking a fatha because it is the object. Hafidha, yahfadhu. So the mudari, the amr becomes ihfadh, to memorize. Ihfadh darsak, your lesson. Darsa, because it's the object of hafidha. Number 3, qara'a yaqra'u. قرأ يقرأ. The amr is اقرأ. Okay, because we're looking, I'm going to switch it. I want you to tell Anti to read. Anti.
يقري
اقرأ.
يقري
No, اقرأ.
يقري
اقرأ. Yes. اقرأي. صح. Okay. Ikram, I want you to tell 2 people to read. So أحسنت. Correct. Number 4, we have اذهب إلى المسجد. اذهب إلى المسجد. Remember, ذهب usually comes with إلى, because you're going to. Now, ذهب, I want you to tell أنتم to go to the masjid. What's for you? أنتم.
أنتم.
So you say
اذهبوا
اذهبوا إلى المسجد. Go to the masjid. ركب, here you have ركب يركب. ركب يركب to. Who knows the ركب يركب? I'll give you a clue. دراجة is a bike. صح. To ride. Yeah. اركب دراجتك. Ride your bike. And we have the last one. لعب يلعب. And the amr is العب. العب. Any guesses?
Play.
To play. العب مع أخيك يا إسماعيل. Play with your brother أو إسماعيل. العب. العبا. العبوا. العبي. What's after that? العبا. No. أنتما. So what's for أنتن? We've not done that one yet.
يلعبنا.
العبنا. أحسنت. That is the end. Page 13 and 14 if you look at the PDF, page 13 and 14, it is homework. Yeah. Il. Yeah. So look at page 13 and 14. So we have, he's giving you the Madi, he's giving you the Mudari', so he's giving you the past, he's giving you the present. The only thing missing is the Amr. Now, as I mentioned, from the Medina book, he only, in this particular lesson, they only did Anta. But you should know all 6. Sah? Command. There's the reason why we did the Sarf before the... Yeah, because for Sarf, you get it all in one go instead of spreading out over 6 lessons. Okay, so we'll do one together quickly. In this example, just do Anta, but you should know all 6. Okay. Just do Anta. But if you can do all 6 in your head, that'll be jade. Okay, so we have Rafa'a, Yarfa'u, to raise. Who can do all 6 without looking? Rafa'a, Yarfa'u. First, Anta, start with Anta. Go on. Rafa'a, Yarfa'u. Yarfa'u. It's not Urfa'. If it's not Dhamma, what is it? Yeah. Remember, if it's not Dhamma, it takes it. So, Irfa'. You know, you're going to go Antuma. Irfa'. Do it looking here. You have to do it looking. Find the page. Irfa'. Go to the left.
But how are we going to carry on then if the aim is
It's all the same. Once you got irfa', it was just the hamza was the same for all of it.
So irfa'. I don't know how to do it.
Okay, you try. You do it. Irfa'u.
So the sukun is dropped on the other 2. That's what I was trying to.
Which sukun?
Because irfa', there's a sukun right on the aim.
Yeah, remember the second step we mentioned that the sukun, the verb will take a sukun at the end. Irfa'.
And then in the second one, there's a fatha on it.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to understand.
Yeah, just follow the pattern. Okay. You said irfa', irfa'a, irfa'u, irfa'i, irfa'a, irfa'na.
Yeah.
Something.
Now I understood. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.